हेलो एवरीवन, वेलकम बैक टू माय चैनल। तो आज के वीडियो में हम शुरू करने वाले हैं एनसीईआरटी ज्योग्राफी क्लास 8। तो आज हम देखने वाले हैं फर्स्ट चैप्टर जो है रिसोर्सेज। तो शुरू करते हैं हमारा आज का चैप्टर। मोना एंड राजू वर हेल्पिंग अम्मा टू क्लीन देयर हाउस. Look at all these things: clothes, utensil, food grains, combs, this bottle of honey, books. Each of these has a use, said Mona. That is why they are important, said Amma. These are resources. What is a resource? Was Raju's question to Amma. Anything that can be used to satisfy a need is a resource, replied Amma. Look around you and observe. You will be able to identify many types of resources: the water you drink when you are thirsty, the electricity you use in your house, the rickshaw you use to get home from school, the textbook you use to study are all resources. Your father has prepared a tasty snack for you. The fresh vegetable he has used are also a resource. Water, electricity, rickshaw, vegetable, and textbook have something in common. They have all been used by you, so they have utility. Utility or usability is what makes an object or substance a resource. How does something become a resource? Raju now wanted to know. Amma told the children that things become resources only when they have a value. Its uses or utility gives it a value. All resources have some value, said Amma. Value means worth. Some resources have economic value, some do not. For example, metals may have an economic value. A beautiful landscape may not, but both are important and satisfy human needs. Some resources can become economically valuable with time. Your grandmother's home remedies have no commercial value today, but if they are patented and sold by a medical firm tomorrow, they could become economically valuable. Patent, it means the exclusive right over any idea or invention. Time and technology are two important factors that can change substances into resources. Both are related to the needs of the people. People themselves are the most important resource. It is their ideas, knowledge, inventions, and discoveries that led to the creation of more resources. Each discovery or invention leads to many others. The discovery of fire led to the practice of cooking and other processes, while the invention of the wheel ultimately resulted in development of new modes of transport. The technology to create hydroelectricity has turned energy in fast flowing water into an important resource. Glossary. Technology. It is the application of latest knowledge and skill in doing or making things. Types of resources. Resources are generally classified into natural, human-made, and human. Natural resources. Resources that are drawn from nature and used without much modification are called natural resources. The air we breathe, the water in our rivers and lakes, the soils, minerals are all natural resources. Many of these resources are free gifts of nature and can be used directly. In some cases, tools and technology may be needed to use a natural resource in the best possible way. Natural resources are classified into different groups depending upon their level of development and use, origin, stock, and distribution. On the basis of the development and use, resources can be classified into two groups: actual resources and potential resources. Actual resources are those resources whose quantity is known. These resources are being used in the present. The rich deposits of coal in Ruhr region of Germany and petroleum in the West Asia, the dark soils of the Deccan Plateau in Maharashtra are all actual resources. Potential resources are those whose entire quantity may not be known and these are not being used at present. These resources could be used in the future. The level of technology we have at present may not be advanced enough to easily utilize these resources. The uranium found in Ladakh is an example of potential resource that could be used in the future. High-speed winds were a potential resource 200 years ago. Today they are an actual resource, and wind farms generate energy using windmills like in Netherlands. You will find some in Nagarcoil in Tamil Nadu and on the Gujarat coast. Based on their origin, resources can be abiotic or biotic. Abiotic resources are non-living while biotic resources are living. Soils, rocks and minerals are abiotic, but plants and animals are biotic resources. Natural resources can be broadly categorized into renewable and non-renewable resources. Renewable resources are those which get renewed or replenished quickly. Some of these are unlimited and are not affected by human activities such as solar and wind energy. Yet careless use of certain renewable resources like water, soil and forest can affect their stock. Water seems to be unlimited renewable resource, but shortage and drying up of natural water sources is a major problem in many parts of the world today. Stock of resource. It is the amount of resources available for use. Non-renewable resources are those which have a limited stock. Once the stocks are exhausted, it may take thousands of years to be renewed or replenished. Since this period is much more than human lifespans, such resources are considered non-renewable. Coal, petroleum, and natural gas are some examples. On the basis of the distribution, resources can be ubiquitous or localized. Resources that are found everywhere, like the air we breathe, are ubiquitous, but those which are found only in certain places are localized, like copper and iron ore. The distribution of natural resources depends upon number of physical factors like terrain, climate, and altitude. The distribution of resources is unequal because these factors differ so much over the earth. Human-made resources. Sometimes natural substances become resources only when their original form has been changed. Iron ore was not a resource until people learned to extract iron from it. People use natural resources to make buildings, bridges, roads, machinery, and vehicles, which are known as human-made resources. Technology is also a human-made resource. So people like us use natural resources to make human-made resources, said Mona, nodding in understanding. Yes, said Raju. Human resources. People can make the best use of nature to create more resources when they have the knowledge, skill, and the technology to do so. That is why human beings are a special resource. People are human resources. Education and health help in making people a valuable resource. Improving the quality of people's skills so that they are able to create more resources is known as human resource development. Do you know? Human resource refer to the number, quantity, and abilities, mental and physical, of the people. Though there are differing views regarding treatment of humans as a resource, one cannot deny the fact that it is the abilities of humans that help in transferring the physical material into valuable resource. Conserving resources. Mona had a nightmare. She dreamed that all the water on the earth has dried up and all the trees cut down. There was no shade and nothing to eat or drink. People were suffering and roaming around desperately, looking for food and shade. She told her mother about the dream. Amma, can this really happen? She asked. Yes, Amma replied. If we are not careful, then even renewable resources can become very scarce and non renewable ones can definitely get exhausted. What can we do about it? Raju asked. Lots, replied Amma. Using resources carefully and giving them time to get renewed is called resource conservation. Balancing the need to use resources and also conserve them for the future is called sustainable development. There are many ways of conserving resources. Each person can contribute by reducing consumption, recycling, and reusing things. Ultimately, it makes a difference because all our lives are linked. Sustainable development, carefully utilizing resources so that besides meeting the requirements of the present also takes care of future generation. That evening the children and their friends made packets and shopping bags out of old newspapers, discarded clothes and baskets from bamboo sticks. We'll give a few to every family we know, said Mona. After all, it is for a very good cause, said Mustafa, to save our resources and to keep our earth alive. I am going to be very careful not to waste paper, said Jessie. Many trees are cut down to make paper, she explained. I will see that electricity is not wasted in my house, shouted Mustafa. Electricity comes from water and coal. I will make sure that water is not wasted at home, said Asa. Every drop of water is precious. Together we can make a difference, chorused the children. These are some of the things Mona, Raju, and their friends did. What about you? How are you going to help in conserving resources? The future of our planet and its people is linked with our ability to maintain and preserve the life support system that nature provides. Therefore, it is our duty to ensure that all uses of renewable resources are sustainable, the diversity of life on the earth is conserved, the damage to natural environmental system is minimized. Some principles of sustainable development: respect and care for all forms of life, improve the quality of human life, conserve the earth's vitality and diversity, minimize the depletion of natural resources, change personal attitude and practices towards the environment, enable communication to care for their own environment, enable communities to care for their own environment. तो ये है इस चैप्टर का एक्सरसाइज और इसी के साथ हमारा आज का चैप्टर कंप्लीट होता है। तो अगर आप चैनल पर नए हैं तो चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर दीजिए और नोटिफिकेशन आइकन पर क्लिक कर दीजिए ताकि आपको सारे वीडियोस के अपडेट्स मिल सकें। और अगर आपको वीडियो अच्छा लगे तो लाइक कर दीजिए और अपने दोस्तों के साथ शेयर कीजिए ताकि उन्हें भी हेल्प हो सके। तो हमारा आज का सेशन यहीं तक था। थैंक यू, थैंक्स फॉर वॉचिंग। हेलो एवरीवन, वेलकम बैक टू माय चैनल। तो आज की वीडियो में हम देखने वाले हैं एनसीईआरटी ज्योग्राफी क्लास 8, जिसमें आज हम देखेंगे चैप्टर 2 जो कि है लैंड, सॉइल, वाटर, नेचुरल वेजिटेशन एंड वाइल्ड लाइफ रिसोर्सेज। तो शुरू करते हैं हमारा आज का चैप्टर। इन ए स्मॉल विलेज इन Tanzania, Africa, Mamba gets up very early in the morning to fetch water. She has to walk a long way and return after a few hours. She then helps her mother in the house and joins her brothers in taking care of their goats. All her family owns is a piece of rocky land around their small hut. Mamba's father can barely grow some maize and beans on it after toiling hard. This is not enough to feed their family for the whole year. Peter lives in the heart of the sheep-rearing region in New Zealand, where his family runs a wool processing factory. Every day when he returns from school, Peter watches his uncle taking care of their sheep. Their sheep yard is situated on a wide grassy plain with hills in the far distance. It is managed in a scientific way using the latest technology. Peter's family also grows vegetables through organic farming. Mamba and Peter stay in two different parts of the world and lead very different lives. This difference is because of the differences in the quality of land, soil, water, natural vegetation, animals, and the uses of technology. The availability of such resources is the main reason places differ from each other. Do you know 90% of the world population occupies only 30% of the land area? The remaining 70% of the land is either sparsely populated or uninhabited. Land is among the most important and natural resources. It covers only about 30% of the total area of the Earth's surface, and all parts of this small percentage are not habitable. The uneven distribution of population in different parts of the world is mainly due to varied characteristics of land and climate. The rock topography, steep slope of the mountains, low-lying areas susceptible to water, logging, desert areas, thick forested areas are normally sparsely populated or uninhabited. Plains and river valleys offer suitable land for agriculture, hence these are the densely populated areas of the world. Land use. Land is used for different purposes such as agriculture, forestry, mining, building houses, roads, and setting up of industries. This is commonly termed as land use. Can you list out the different ways in which members in Peter's family use their land? The use of land is determined by physical factors such as topography, soil, climate, minerals, and availability of water. Human factors such as population and technology are also important determinants of land use pattern. Land can also be divided on the basis of private land and community land. Private land is owned by individuals, whereas community land is owned by the community for common uses like collection of fodder, fruits, nuts, or medicinal herbs. These community lands are also called common property resources. People and their demands are ever growing, but the availability of land is limited. The quality of land also differs from place to place. People started encroaching the common lands to build up commercial areas, housing complexes in the urban areas, and to expand the agricultural land in the rural areas. Today, the vast changes in land use pattern also reflect the cultural changes in our society. Land degradation, landslides, soil erosion, desertification are the major threats to the environment because of the expansion of agriculture and constructional activities. Conservation of land resource. Growing population and the ever-growing demand has led to a large-scale destruction of forest cover and arable land and has created a fear of losing this natural resource. Therefore, the present rate of degradation of land resources must be checked. Afforestation, land reclamation, regulated use of chemical pesticides and fertilizers, and checks on overgrazing are some of the common methods used to conserve land. Landslides. Landslides are simply defined as the mass movement of rocks, debris, or earth down a slope. These often take place in conjunction with earthquakes, floods, and volcanoes. A prolonged spell of rainfall can cause heavy landslide that can block the flow of river for quite some time. The formation of river blocks can cause havoc to the settlements downstream on its bursting. In the hilly terrain, landslides have been a major and widely spread natural disaster that often strike life and property and occupy a position of major concern. A case study. A massive landslide hit Pangi village near Rekong, PO in Kinnaur district of Himachal Pradesh and damaged a 200-meter stretch of Old Hindustan Tibet Road, National Highway 22. This landslide was triggered by intense blasting at Pangi village. Due to the blasting, this weak zone of slope collapsed and caused intense damage to the road and nearby villages. The Pangi village was completely vacated to avoid any possible loss of life. Mitigation mechanism. Advancement in scientific techniques has empowered us to understand what factors cause landslides and how to manage them. Some broad mitigation techniques of landslide are as follows. Hazard mapping. Locate areas prone to landslide. Hence, such areas can be avoided for building settlements. Construction of retention wall to stop land from slipping. Increase in the vegetation cover is an effective way to arrest landslide. The surface drainage control works are implemented to control the movement of landslide along with rainwater and spring flows. Soil. The thin layer of grainy substance covering the surface of earth is called soil. It is closely linked to land. Landforms determine the type of soil. Soil is made up of organic matter, minerals, and weathered rocks found on the earth. This happens through the process of weathering. The right mix of minerals and organic matter make the soil fertile. Weathering, the breaking up and decay of exposed rocks by temperature changes or frost action, plants, animals, and man. Do you know it takes hundreds of years to make just 1 centimeter of soil? Factors of soil formation. The major factors of soil formation are the nature of the parent rock and climatic factors. Other factors are topography, role of organic material, and time taken for the composition of soil formation. All these differ from place to place. Soil factors affecting soil formation. Parent rock determines color, texture, chemical properties, mineral content, permeability. Climate, temperature, rainfall influence, rate of weathering, and humus. Relief, altitude and slope determine accumulation of soil. Flora, fauna, and microorganisms affect the rate of humus formation. Time, determine thickness of soil profile. Degradation of soil and conservation measures. Soil erosion and depletion are the major threats to soil as a resource. Both human and natural factors can lead to degradation of soil. Factors which lead to soil degradation are deforestation, overgrazing, overuse of chemical fertilizers or pesticides, rainwash, landslides, and floods. Some methods of soil conservation are mulching. The bare ground between plants is covered with a layer of organic matter like straw. It helps to retain soil moisture. Con- Contour barriers. Stones, grass, soil are used to build barriers along contours. Trenches are made in front of the barriers to collect water. Rock dam. Rocks are piled up to slow down the flow of water. This prevents gullies and further soil loss. Terrace farming. These are made on the steep slopes so that flat surfaces are available to grow crops. They can reduce surface runoff and soil erosion. Intercropping. Different crops are grown in alternate rows and are sown at different times to protect the soil from rainwash. Contour plowing. Plowing parallel to the contours of a hill slope to form a natural barrier for water to flow down the slope. Shelter beds. In the coastal and dry regions, rows of trees are planted to check the wind movement to protect soil cover. Water. Water is a vital renewable natural resource. Three-fourths of the Earth's surface is covered with water. It is therefore appropriately called the water planet. It was in the primitive oceans that life began almost 3.5 billion years back. Even today, the oceans cover two-thirds of the Earth's surface and support a rich variety of plant and animal life. The ocean water is, however, saline and not fit for human consumption. Freshwater accounts for only about 2.7%. Nearly 70% of this occurs as ice sheets and glaciers in Antarctica, Greenland, and mountain regions. Due to their location, they are inaccessible. Only 1% of fresh water is available and fit for human use. It is found as groundwater, as surface water in rivers and lakes, and as water vapor in the atmosphere. Fresh water is therefore the most precious substance on earth. Water can neither be added nor subtracted from the earth. Its total volume remains constant. Its abundance only seems to vary because it is in constant motion, cycling through the oceans, the air, the land, and back again, through the processes of evaporation, precipitation, and runoff. This, as you already know, is referred to as the water cycle. Do you know in 1975 the consumption of water for human use was 3850 cu kilometer per year. It soared to more than 6000 cu kilometer per year in the year 2000. Do you know a dripping tap wastes 1200 liters in a year? Humans use huge amount of water not only for drinking and washing but also in the process of production. Water for agriculture industries generating electricity through reservoirs of dams are the other 10 uses. Increasing population, rising demands for food and cash crops, increasing urbanization and rising standards of living are the major factors leading to shortages in supply of fresh water either due to drying up of water sources or water pollution. Problems of water availability. There is scarcity of water in many regions of the world. Most of Africa, West Asia, South Asia, parts of Western USA, Northwest Mexico, parts of South America, and entire Australia are facing shortages in freshwater supply. Countries located in climatic zones most susceptible to droughts Climatic zones most susceptible to droughts face great problems of water scarcity. Thus, water shortages may be a consequence of variation in seasonal or annual precipitation, or the scarcity is caused by overexploitation and contamination of water sources. Do you know? Have you ever heard about a water market? Amreli city in Saurashtra region with a population of 1.25 lakhs is completely dependent on purchasing water from the nearby talukas. Conservation of water resources. Access to clean and adequate water sources is a major problem facing the world today. Steps have to be taken to conserve this dwindling resource. Even though water is a renewable resource, its overuse and pollution make it unfit for use. Discharge of untreated or partially treated sewage, agricultural chemicals, and industrial effluents in water bodies are major contaminants. They pollute water with nitrates, metals, and pesticides. Most of these chemicals being non-biodegradable reach human bodies through water. Water pollution can be controlled by treating these effluents suitably before releasing them in water bodies. Forest and other vegetation covers slow the surface runoff and replenish underground water. Water harvesting is another method to save surface runoff. Water is used for irrigating fields. The canals should be properly lined to minimize losses by water seepage. Sprinklers effectively irrigate the area by checking water losses through seepage and evaporation. In dry regions with high rates of evaporation, drip or trickle irrigation is very useful. The valuable water resource can therefore be conserved by adopting these means of conservation. Do you know rainwater harvesting is the process of collecting rainwater from rooftops and directing it to an appropriate location and storing it for future use? On an average, one spell of rain for 2 hours is enough to save 8,000 liters of water. Natural vegetation and wildlife. Some school children were visiting an exhibition on handicrafts. The articles in the exhibition were collected from different parts of the country. Mona picked up a bag and exclaimed, "This is a beautiful handbag." Yes, it and yes, it is made from jute, the teacher said. Do you see those baskets, lamp sets, and chairs? Those are made of canes and bamboos. In the eastern and northeastern humid regions of India, bamboo grows in plenty. Jessie was excited to see a silk scarf. See this beautiful scarf, the teacher explained that silk is obtained from silkworms that are bred on mulberry trees. The children understood that plants provide us with many different products that we use in our day to day life. Natural vegetation and wildlife exist only in the narrow zone of contact between the lithosphere, hydrosphere, and atmosphere that we call biosphere. In the biosphere, living beings are interrelated and interdependent on each other for survival. This life supporting system is known as the ecosystem. Vegetation and wildlife are valuable resources. Plants provide us with timber, give shelter to animals, produce oxygen we breathe, protect soil so essential for growing crops, act as shelter belts, help in storage of underground water, give us fruits, nuts, latex, turpentine oil, gum, medicinal plants, and also the paper that is so essential for your studies. There are innumerable uses of plants, and you can add some more. Wildlife includes animals, birds, insects, as well as the aquatic life forms. They provide us milk, meat, hides, and wool. Insects like bees provide us honey, help in pollination of flowers, and have an important role to play as decomposers in the ecosystem. The birds feed on insects and act as decomposers as well. Vulture, due to his ability to feed on dead livestock, is a scavenger and considered a vital cleanser of the environment. So, animals, big or small, all are integral to maintaining balance in the ecosystem. Do you know vultures in the Indian subcontinent were dying of kidney failure shortly after scavenging livestock treated with diclofenac, a painkiller that is similar to aspirin or ibuprofen. Efforts are on to ban the drug for livestock use and breed vultures in captivity. Distribution of natural vegetation. The growth of vegetation depends primarily on temperature and moisture. The major vegetation types of the world are grouped as forest, grasslands, scrubs, and tundra. In areas of heavy rainfall, huge trees may thrive. The forests are thus associated with areas having abundant water supply. As the amount of moisture decreases, the size of trees and their density reduces. In the regions of moderate rainfall, short stunted trees and grasses grow, forming the grasslands of the world. In dry areas of low rainfall, thorny shrubs and scrubs grow. In such areas, plants have deep roots and leaves have thorny and waxy surface to reduce loss of moisture by transpiration. Tundra vegetation of cold polar regions comprise of mosses and lichens. Forests are broadly classified as evergreen and deciduous, depending on when they shed their leaves. Evergreen forests do not shed their leaves simultaneously in any season of the year. Deciduous forests shed their leaves in a particular season to conserve loss of moisture through transpiration. These forests are further classified as tropical or temperate based on their location in different latitudes. You have learned in detail about the various forest types, their distribution, and the associated animal life in the previous class. Today, there are many more people in the world than there were 2 centuries back. To feed the growing numbers, large areas of forest have been cleared to grow crops. Forest cover all over the world is vanishing rapidly. There is an urgent need to conserve this valuable resource. Conservation of natural vegetation and wildlife. Forests are our wealth. Plants give shelter to animals and together they maintain the ecosystem. Changes of Changes of climate and human interferences can cause the loss of natural habitats for the plants and animals. Many species have become vulnerable or endangered, and some are on the verge of extinction. Deforestation, soil erosion, constructional activities, forest fires, tsunami, and landslides are some of the human made and natural factors which together accelerate the process of extinction of these great natural resources. One of the major concerns is the increasing incidence of poaching that result in a sharp decline in the number of particular species. The animals are poached for collection and illegal trade of hides, skins, nails, teeth, horns, as well as feathers. Some of these animals are tiger, lion, elephant, deer, black buck, crocodile, rhinoceros, snow leopard, ostrich, and peacock. This can be conserved by increasing awareness. National parks, wildlife sanctuaries, biosphere reserves are made to protect our natural vegetation and wildlife. Conservation of creeks, lakes, and wetlands is necessary to save the precious resource from depletion. National Park, a natural area designated to protect the ecological integrity of one or more ecosystems for present and future generations. There is a balance in the environment if the relative number of species is not disturbed. Human activities in several parts of the world have disturbed the natural habitats of many species. Due to indiscriminate killings, several birds and animals have either become extinct or are on the verge of extinction. Awareness programs like social forestry and Van Mahotsav should be encouraged at the regional and community level. School children should be encouraged for bird watching and visiting nature camps so that they appreciate the habitat of varied species. Many countries have passed laws declaring that the trades as well as killing of birds and animals are illegal. In India, killing of lions, tigers, deers, great Indian bustards, and peacocks have been banned. An international convention CITES has been established that lists several species of animals and birds in which trade is prohibited. Conservation of plants and animals is an ethical duty of every citizen. Biosphere reserves, series of protected areas linked through a global network intended to demonstrate the relationship between conservation and development. Do you know CITES, the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora, is an international agreement between governments. It aims to ensure that international trade in specimens of wild animals and plants does not threaten their survival. Roughly 5,000 species of animals and 28,000 species of plants are protected. Bears, dolphins, cacti, corals, orchids, and aloes are some examples. तो ये है इस चैप्टर का एक्सरसाइज और इसी साथ हमारा आज का चैप्टर कंप्लीट होता है। तो अगर आप चैनल पर नए हैं तो चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर दीजिए और नोटिफिकेशन आइकन पर क्लिक कर दीजिए ताकि आपको सारे वीडियोस के अपडेट्स मिल सकें। और अगर आपको वीडियो अच्छी लगे तो लाइक कर दीजिए, साथ ही अपने दोस्तों के साथ शेयर कीजिए ताकि उन्हें भी हेल्प हो सके। तो हमारा आज का सेशन यहीं तक था। थैंक यू, थैंक्स फॉर वॉचिंग। हेलो एवरीवन, वेलकम बैक टू माय चैनल। तो आज के वीडियो में हम देखने वाले हैं एनसीईआरटी ज्योग्राफी क्लास 8, जिसमें आज हम देखेंगे चैप्टर 3 जो कि है मिनरल एंड पावर रिसोर्सेज। तो शुरू करते हैं हमारा आज का चैप्टर। Kiri is visiting Sukant in his native place near Dhanbad. Kiri is amazed to see that large areas were black. Sukant, why is this place so black and dusty? This is because of the coal mines nearby. Do you see the trucks? They are carrying the mineral coal. What are minerals? Asks Kiri. Sukant says, have you ever seen a baker baking biscuits? The flour, milk, sugar, and sometimes eggs are mixed together. While eating the baked biscuit, can you see these ingredients separately? Just as in the biscuits, there are a number of things that you cannot see. Rocks on this earth have several materials called minerals mixed in them. These minerals are scattered throughout the Earth's rocky crust. A naturally occurring substance that has a definite chemical composition is a mineral. Minerals are not evenly distributed over space. They are concentrated in a particular area of or rock formations. Some minerals are found in areas which are not easily accessible, such as the Arctic Ocean bed and Antarctica. Do you know the salt in your food and graphite in your pencil are also minerals? Minerals are found in different types of geological environments under varying conditions. They are interference. They are created by natural processes without any human interference. They can be identified on the basis of their physical properties such as color, density, hardness, and chemical properties such as solubility. Types of minerals. There are over 3000 different minerals on the basis of composition. Minerals are classified mainly as metallic and non-metallic minerals. Minerals: metallic, non-metallic. Metallic: ferrous, non-ferrous. The metallic minerals contain metal in raw form. Metals are hard substances that conduct heat and electricity and have a characteristic luster or sign. Iron ore, bauxite, manganese ore are some examples. Metallic minerals may be ferrous or non-ferrous. Ferrous minerals like iron ore, manganese, and chromites contain iron. A non-ferrous mineral does not contain iron but may contain some other metals such as gold, silver, copper, or lead. Do you know a rock is an aggregate of one or more minerals but without definite composition or constituent of mineral? Rocks from which minerals are mined are known as ores. Although more than 2,800 types of minerals have been identified, only about 100 are considered ore minerals. Thus, one can easily notice that all minerals are rocks, but all rocks are not minerals. The non-metallic minerals do not contain metals. Limestone, mica, and gypsum are examples of such minerals. The mineral fuels like coal and petroleum are also non-metallic minerals. Minerals can be extracted by mining, drilling, or quarrying. Extraction of minerals: mining, drilling, quarrying. Mining के अंदर है open cast mining, shaft mining. The process of taking out minerals from rocks buried under the earth's surface is called mining. Minerals that lie at shallow depths are taken out by removing the surface layer. This is known as open cast mining. Deep bores called shafts have to be made to reach mineral deposits that lie at great depths. This is called shaft mining. Petroleum and natural gas occur far below the earth's surface. Deep wells are bored to take them out. This is called drilling. Minerals that lie near the surface are simply dug out by the process known as quarrying. Distribution of minerals. Minerals occur in different types of rocks. Some are found in igneous rocks, some in metamorphic rocks, while others occur in sedimentary rocks. Generally, metallic minerals are found in igneous and metamorphic rock formations that form large plateaus. Iron ore in North Sweden, copper and nickel deposits in Ontario, Canada, iron, nickel, chromites, and platinum in South Africa are examples of minerals found in igneous and metamorphic rocks. Sedimentary rock formations of plains and young fold mountains contain non-metallic minerals like limestone. Limestone deposits of Caucasus region of France, manganese deposits of Georgia and Ukraine, and phosphate beds of Algeria are some examples. Mineral fuels such as coal and petroleum are also found in the sedimentary strata. Do you know you can always tell if a rock contains copper because then the rock looks blue in color? Asia. China and India have large iron ore deposits. The continent produces more than half of the world's tin. China, Malaysia, and Indonesia are among the world's leading tin producers. China also leads in production of lead, antimony, and tungsten. Asia also has the deposits of manganese, bauxite, nickel, zinc, and copper. Europe. Europe is the leading producer of iron ore in the world. The countries with large deposits of iron ore are Russia, Ukraine, Sweden, and France. Minerals deposits of copper, lead, zinc, manganese, and nickel are found in Eastern Europe and European Russia. Do you know Switzerland has no known mineral deposit in it? North America. The mineral deposits in North America are located in three zones: the Canadian region, north of the Great Lakes, the Appalachian region, and the mountain ranges of the West. Iron ore, nickel, gold, uranium, and copper are mined in the Canadian Shield region. Coal in the Appalachian region, Western Cordilleras have vast deposits of copper, lead, zinc, gold, and silver. South America. Brazil is the largest producer of high-grade iron ore in the world. Chile and Peru are leading producers of copper. Brazil and Bolivia are among the world's largest producer of tin. South America also has large deposits of gold, silver, zinc, chromium, manganese, bauxite, mica, platinum, asbestos, and diamond. Mineral oil is found in Venezuela, Argentina, Chile, Peru, and Colombia. Do you know a green diamond is the rarest diamond? The oldest rock in the world are in the Western Australia. They date from 4,300 million years ago, only 300 million years after the Earth was found. Africa. Africa is rich in mineral resources. It is the world's largest producer of diamonds, gold, and platinum. South Africa, Zimbabwe, and Nigeria produce a large portion of the world's gold. The other minerals found in Africa are copper, iron ore, chromium, uranium, cobalt, and bauxite. Oil is found in Nigeria, Libya, and Angola. Australia. Australia is the largest producer of bauxite in the world. It is a leading producer of gold, diamond, iron ore, tin, and nickel. It is also rich in copper, lead, zinc, and manganese. Kalgoorlie and Coolgardie areas of Western Australia have the largest deposits of gold. Antarctica. The geology of Antarctica is sufficiently well known to predict the existence of a variety of mineral deposits, some probably large. Significant size of deposits of coal in the Transantarctic Mountains and iron near the Prince Charles Mountains of East Antarctica is forecasted. Iron ore, gold, silver, and oil are also present in commercial quantities. Distribution in India. Iron. India has deposits of high-grade iron ore. The mineral is found mainly in Jharkhand, Odisha, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, Goa, Maharashtra, and Karnataka. Bauxite. Major bauxite producing areas are Jharkhand, Odisha, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, Maharashtra, and Tamil Nadu. Mica. Mica deposits mainly occur in Jharkhand, Bihar, Andhra Pradesh, and Rajasthan. India is the largest producer and exporter of mica in the world. Copper. It is mainly produced in Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Jharkhand, Karnataka, and Andhra Pradesh. Manganese. India's manganese deposits lie in Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Odisha, Karnataka, and Andhra Pradesh. Limestone. Major limestone producing states in India are Bihar, Jharkhand, Odisha, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan, Gujarat, and Tamil Nadu. Gold. Kolar in Karnataka has deposits of gold in India. These mines are among the deepest in the world, which makes mining of this ore a very expensive process. Salt. It is obtained from seas, lakes, and rocks. India is one of the world's leading producers and exporters of salt. Uses of minerals. Minerals are used in many industries. Minerals which are used for gems are usually hard. These are then set in various styles for jewelry. Copper is another metal used in everything from coins to pipes. Silicon used in the computer industry is obtained from quartz. Aluminum, obtained from its ore bauxite, is used in automobiles and airplanes, bottling industry, buildings, and even in kitchen cookware. Conservation of minerals. Minerals are non-renewable resources. It takes thousands of years for the formation and concentration of minerals. The rate of formation is much smaller than the rate at which the humans consume these minerals. It is necessary to reduce wastage in the process of mining. Recycling of metals is another way in which the mineral resources can be conserved. Power resources. Sunny's mother begins her day by switching on the geyser. She irons Sunny's school uniform before waking him up. She then rushes to the kitchen to prepare a glass of orange juice for him in the blender. Sunny, have you finished taking bath? Come and have your breakfast, calls out mother while preparing breakfast on the gas stove for Sunny. While going to school, Sunny forgets to switch off lights and fans. When mother switches them off, she thinks that life in the cities may be more comfortable, but its dependency on more and more gadgets, all of which consume energy, has led to a wide gap between the demand and the supply. With the advent of science and technology, the lifestyles are changing very fast. Power or energy plays a vital role in our lives. We also need power for industry, agriculture, transport, communication, and defense. Power resources may be broadly categorized as conventional and non conventional resources. Conventional sources. Conventional sources of energy are those which have been in common use for a long time. Firewood and fossil fuels are the two main conventional energy sources. Conventional sources of energy. Oil, natural gas. Advantages: easier to transport, tankers, basis of petrochemical industry. Natural gas का advantage है easier to transport, pipelines, cleaner than oil and coal, cheaper than oil. Disadvantage: depletion of ocean due to oil spillage and gas leakage, pollutants released cause accident, exploration of new fuel is not easy. Firewood advantages: easy access, provides energy to a large number of people. Disadvantages: collection is time consuming, polluting, promoting greenhouse effect, deforestation. Coal advantages: extensively available, efficient conversion to electricity. Disadvantage: polluting source, bulky to transport. Hydel power advantages: non polluting, promotes irrigation and fishing, cheap. Disadvantages: displacement of local community, inundates low, expensive to set up. Firewood. Firewood. It is widely used for cooking and heating. In our country, more than 50% of the energy used by villagers comes from firewood. Remains of plants and animals which were buried under the earth for millions of years got converted by heat and pressure into fossil fuels. Fossil fuels such as coal, petroleum, and natural gas are the main sources of conventional energy. The reserves of these minerals are limited. The rate at which the growing world population is consuming them is far greater than the rate of their formation, so these are likely to be exhausted soon. Coal. This is the most abundantly found fossil fuel. It is used as a domestic fuel in industries such as iron and steel, steam engines, and to generate electricity. Electricity from coal is called thermal power. The coal which we are using today was found millions of years ago when giant ferns and swamps got buried under the layers of earth. Coal is therefore referred to as buried sunshine. The leading coal producers of the world are China, USA, Germany, Russia, South Africa, and France. The coal producing areas of India are Raniganj, Jharia, Dhanbad, and Bokaro in Jharkhand. Petroleum, the petrol that keeps your car running, as well as the oil that keeps your cycle from squeaking, both begin as a thick black liquid called petroleum. It is found between the layers of rocks and is drilled from oil fields located in offshore and coastal areas. This is then sent to refineries which process the crude oil and produce a variety of products like diesel, petrol, kerosene, wax, plastic, and lubricants. Petroleum and its derivatives are called black gold as they are very valuable. The cheap petroleum producing countries are Iran, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, and Qatar. The other major producers are USA, Russia, Venezuela, and Algeria. The leading producers in India are Digboi in Assam, Bombay High in Mumbai, and the deltas of Krishna and Godavari rivers. Word origin: the word petroleum is derived from Latin word petra meaning rock, oleum meaning oil. So petroleum means rock oil. Natural gas. Natural gas is found with petroleum deposits and is released when crude oil is brought to the surface. It can be used as a domestic and industrial fuel. Russia, Norway, UK, and the Netherlands are the major producers of natural gas. In India, Jaisalmer, Krishna Godavari Delta, Tripura, and some areas of Sor in Mumbai have natural gas resources. Very few countries in the world have sufficient natural gas reserves of their own. The sharp increase in our consumption of fossil fuels has led to their depletion at an alarming rate. The toxic pollutants released from burning these fuels are also a cause for concern. Unchecked burning of fossil fuel is like an unchecked dripping tap which will eventually run dry. This has led to the tapping of various non-conventional sources of energy that are cleaner alternatives to fossil fuels. Do you know compressed natural gas (CNG) is a popular eco-friendly automobile fuel as it causes less pollution than petroleum and diesel. Tidal power. Rainwater or river water stored in dams is made to fall from heights. The falling water flows through pipes inside the dam over turbine blades placed at the bottom of the dam. The moving blades then turn the generator to produce electricity. This is called hydroelectricity. Do you know Norway was the first country in the world to develop hydroelectricity? The water discharged after the generation of electricity is used for irrigation. One-fourth of the world's electricity is produced by hydel power. The leading producer of hydel power in the world are Paraguay, Norway, Brazil, and China. Some important hydel power stations in India are Bhakra Nangal, Gandhi Sagar, Nagarjun Sagar, and Damodar Valley projects. Non-conventional sources of energy. The increasing use of fossil fuels is leading to a shortage. It is estimated that if the present rate of consumption continues, the reserves of this fuel will get exhausted. Moreover, their use also causes environmental pollution. Therefore, there is need for using non-conventional sources such as solar energy, wind energy, tidal energy, which are renewable. Non-conventional sources of energy. Wind energy advantages: non-polluting, low-cost production of electricity, one setup, safe and clean. Disadvantages: noise pollution, windmills costly to set up, disturbs radio and TV reception, harmful to birds. Solar energy advantages: inexhaustible, non-polluting. Disadvantages: expensive, diffuse, so gets wasted. Tidal energy advantages: non-polluting, inexhaustible. Disadvantages: destroys wildlife habitat, difficult to harness. Nuclear energy advantages: emits large amount of energy. Disadvantages: generate radioactive waste, expensive. Biogas advantages: low cost, easy to operate, makes use of bio waste. Disadvantages: causes greenhouse gas effect. Geothermal energy advantages: clean, eco-friendly, and always available. Disadvantages: located far away from cities and so costly to transport the electricity. Solar energy. Sun's heat and light energy can be felt by us every day. Solar energy trapped from the sun can be used in solar cells to produce electricity. Many of these cells are joined into solar panels to generate power for heating and lightning purposes. The technology utilizing solar energy benefits a lot of tropical countries that are blessed with abundant sunshine. Solar energy is also used in solar heaters, solar cookers, solar dryers, besides being used for community lighting and traffic signals. Wind energy. Wind is an inexhaustible source of energy. Windmills have been used for grinding grain and lifting water since times immemorial. In modern time windmills, the high-speed winds rotate the windmill which is connected to a generator to produce electricity. Wind farms having clusters of such windmills are located in coastal regions and in mountain passes where strong and steady winds blow. Wind farms are found in Netherlands, Germany, Denmark, UK, USA, and Spain, are noted for their wind energy production. Nuclear power. Nuclear power is obtained from energy stored in the nuclei of atoms of naturally occurring radioactive elements like uranium and thorium. Do you know the site of the world's first solar and wind powered bus shelter is in Scotland? These fuels undergo nuclear fission in nuclear reactors and emit power. The greatest producer of nuclear power are US and Europe. In India, Rajasthan and Jharkhand have large deposits of uranium. Thorium is found the in large quantities in the monazite sands of Kerala. The nuclear power stations in India are located in Kalpakkam in Tamil Nadu, Tarapur in Maharashtra, Rana Pratap Sagar near Kota in Rajasthan, Narora in Uttar Pradesh, and Kaiga in Karnataka. Geothermal energy. Heat energy obtained from the earth is called geothermal energy. The temperature in the interior of the earth rises steadily as we go deeper. Sometimes this heat energy may surface itself in the form of hot springs. This heat energy can be used to generate power. Geothermal energy in the form of hot springs has been used for cooking, heating, and bathing for several years. USA has the world's largest geothermal power plants, followed by New Zealand, Iceland, Philippines, and Central America. In India, geothermal plants are located in Manikaran in Himachal Pradesh and Puga Valley in Ladakh. Tidal energy. Energy generated from tides is called tidal energy. Tidal energy can be harnessed by building dams at narrow openings of the sea. During high tide, the energy of the tides is used to turn the turbine installed in the dam to produce electricity. Russia, France, and the Gulf of Kutch in India have used tidal mill farms. Biogas. Organic waste such as dead plant and animal material, animal dung, and kitchen waste can be converted into a gaseous fuel called biogas. The organic waste is decomposed by bacteria in biogas digesters to emit biogas, which is essentially a mixture of methane and carbon dioxide. Biogas is an excellent fuel for cooking and lighting and produces huge amount of organic manure each year. Energy is everywhere, but we can see that harnessing this energy is both difficult as well as costly. Each one of us can make a difference by not wasting energy. Energy saved is energy generated. Act now and make brighter energy future. तो ये है इस चैप्टर का एक्सरसाइज और इसी के साथ हमारा ये चैप्टर कंप्लीट हो गया है। तो अगर आप चैनल पर नए हैं तो चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर दीजिए और नोटिफिकेशन आइकन पर क्लिक कर दीजिए ताकि आपको सारे वीडियोस के अपडेट्स मिल सके। और अगर आपको वीडियो अच्छा लगे तो लाइक कर दीजिए, साथ ही अपने दोस्तों के साथ शेयर कीजिए ताकि उन्हें भी हेल्प हो सके। तो आज का हमारा वीडियो यहीं तक था। थैंक यू, थैंक्स फॉर वॉचिंग। हेलो एवरीवन, वेलकम बैक टू माय चैनल। तो आज की वीडियो में हम देखने वाले हैं एनसीईआरटी ज्योग्राफी क्लास 8, जिसमें आज हम देखेंगे चैप्टर 4 जो कि है एग्रीकल्चर। तो शुरू करते हैं हमारा आज का चैप्टर। Gurpreet, Madhu and Tina were walking through the village where they saw a farmer tilling land. The farmer told them that he was growing wheat and had just added manure to the soil to make it more fertile. He told the children that the wheat would fetch a good price in the mandi, from where it would be taken to factories to make bread and biscuits from flour. This transformation from a plant to a finished product involves three types of economic activities. These are primary, secondary, and tertiary activities. Primary activities include all those connected with extraction and production of natural resources. Agriculture, fishing, and gathering are good examples. Secondary activities are concerned with the processing of these resources. Manufacturing of steel, baking of bread, and weaving of cloth are examples of this activity. Tertiary activities provide support to the primary and secondary sectors through services. Transport, trade, banking, insurance, and advertising are examples of tertiary activities. Agriculture is a primary activity. It includes growing crops, fruits, vegetables, flowers, and rearing of livestock. In the world, 50% of persons are engaged in agricultural activity. Two-thirds of India's population is still dependent on agriculture. The word agriculture is derived from Latin words agere or agri, meaning soil, and culture, meaning cultivation or tilling of soil. Favorable topography of soil and climate are vital for agricultural activity. The land on which the crops are grown is known as arable land. In the map, you can see that agricultural activity is concentrated in those regions of the world where suitable factors for the growing of crops exist. Do you know agriculture, the science and art of cultivation on the soil, raising crops and rearing livestock? It is also called farming. Sericulture, commercial rearing of silkworms. It may supplement the income of the farmer. Pisciculture, breeding of fish in specially constructed tanks and ponds. Viticulture, cultivation of grapes. Horticulture, growing vegetables, flowers, and fruits for commercial use. Farm system. Agricultural farming can be looked at as a system. The imported inputs are seed, fertilizers, machinery, and labor. Some of the operations involved are plowing, sowing, irrigation, weeding, and harvesting. The outputs from the system include crops, wool, dairy, and poultry products. Types of farming. Farming is practiced in various ways across the world, depending upon the geographical condition, demand of produce, labor, and level of technology. Farming can be classified into two main types. They are subsistence farming and commercial farming. Interesting fact: organic farming. In this type of farming, organic manure and natural pesticides are used instead of chemicals. No genetic modification is done to increase the yield of the crop. Subsistence farming. This type of farming is practiced to meet the needs of the farmer's family. Traditionally, low levels of technology and household labor are used to produce on small output. Subsistence farming can be further classified as intensive subsistence and primitive subsistence farming. In intensive subsistence agriculture, the farmer cultivates a small plot of land using simple tools and more labor. Climate with large number of days with sunshine and fertile soil permit growing of more than one crop annually on the same plot. Rice is the main crop. Other crops include wheat, maize, pulses, and oilseeds. Intensive sustenance agriculture is prevalent in the thickly populated areas of the monsoon regions of South, Southeast, and East Asia. Primitive subsistence agriculture includes shifting cultivation and nomadic herding. Shifting cultivation is practiced in the thickly forested areas of Amazon basin, tropical Africa, parts of Southeast Asia, and Northeast India. These are the areas of heavy rainfall and quick regeneration of vegetation. A plot of land is cleared by felling the trees and burning them. The ashes are then mixed with the soil and crops like maize, yam, potatoes, and cassava are grown. After the soil loses its fertility, the land is abandoned and the cultivator moves to a new plot. Shifting cultivation is also known as slash and burn agriculture. Do you know shifting cultivation is known by different names in different parts of the world? Jhuming, Northeast India; Milpa, Mexico; Roca, Brazil; Ladang, Malaysia. Nomadic herding is practiced in the semi-arid and arid regions of Sahara, Central Asia, and some parts of India, like Rajasthan and Jammu and Kashmir. In this type of farming, herdsmen move from place to place with their animals for fodder and water along defined routes. This type of movement arises in response to climate constraints and terrain. Sheep, camel, yak, and goats are most commonly reared. They provide milk, meat, wool, hides, and other products to the herders and their families. Commercial farming. In commercial farming, crops are grown and animals are reared for sale in market. The area cultivated and the amount of capital used is large. Most of the work is done by machines. Commercial farming includes commercial grain farming, mixed farming, and plantation agriculture. In commercial grain farming, crops are grown for commercial purpose. Wheat and maize are common commercially grown grains. Major areas where commercial grain farming is practiced are temperate grasslands of North America, Europe, and Asia. These areas are sparsely populated with large farms spreading over hundreds of hectares. Severe winters restrict the growing season and only a single crop can be grown. In mixed farming, the land is used for growing food and fodder crops and rearing livestock. It is practiced in Europe, Eastern USA, Argentina, Southeast Australia, New Zealand, and South Africa. Plantations are a type of commercial farming where single crop of tea, coffee, sugarcane, cashew, rubber, banana, or cotton are grown. Large amount of labor and capital are required. The produce may be processed on the farm itself or in nearby factories. The development of a transport network is thus essential for such farming. Major plantations are found in the tropical regions of the world. Rubber in Malaysia, coffee in Brazil, tea in India, and Sri Lanka are some examples. Major crops. A large variety of crops are grown to meet the requirement of the growing population. Crops also supply raw materials for agro-based industries. Major food crops are wheat, rice, maize, and millets. Jute and cotton are fiber crops. Important beverage crops are tea and coffee. Rice. Rice is the major food crop of the world. It is the staple diet of the tropical and subtropical regions. Rice needs high temperature, high humidity, and rainfall. It grows best in alluvial clay soil, which can retain water. China leads in the production of rice, followed by India, Japan, Sri Lanka, and Egypt. In favorable climatic conditions, as in West Bengal and Bangladesh, 2 to 3 crops are grown a year are grown. Wheat requires moderate temperature and rainfall during growing season and bright sunshine at the time of harvest. It thrives best in well-drained, loamy soil. Wheat is grown extensively in USA, Canada, Argentina, Russia, Ukraine, Australia, and India. In India, it is grown in winter. Millets. They are also known as coarse grains and can be grown on less fertile and sandy soils. It is a hardy crop that needs low rainfall and high to moderate temperature and adequate rainfall. Jowar, bajra, and ragi are grown in India. Other countries are Nigeria, China, and Niger. Do you know maize is also known as corn? Various colorful varieties of maize are found across the world. Maize requires moderate temperature, rainfall, and lots of sunshine. It needs well-drained, fertile soils. Maize is grown in North America, Brazil, China, Russia, Canada, India, and Mexico. Cotton. Cotton requires high temperature, light rainfall, 210 frost-free days, and bright sunshine for its growth. It grows best on black and alluvial soils. China, USA, India, Pakistan, Brazil, and Egypt are the leading producer of cotton. It is one of the main raw materials for the cotton textile industry. Jute. Jute was also known as the golden fiber. It grows well on alluvial soil and requires high temperature, heavy rainfall, and humid climate. This crop is grown in the tropical areas. India and Bangladesh are the leading producers of jute. Coffee. Coffee requires warm and wet climate and well-drained loamy soil. Hill slopes are more suitable for growth of this crop. Brazil is the leading producer, followed by Colombia and India. Interesting fact: who discovered the coffee plant? There are different versions about the discovery of coffee. In about AD 850, Kaldi, an Arab goat herder who was puzzled by the queer antics of his flock, tasted the berries of the evergreen bush on which the goats were feeding. On experiencing a sense of exhilaration, he proclaimed his discovery to the world. Tea. Tea is a beverage crop grown on plantations. This requires cool climate and well distributed high rainfall throughout the year for the growth of its tender leaves. It needs well-drained loamy soils and gentle slopes. Labor in large number is required to pick the leaves. Kenya, India, China, Sri Lanka produce the best quality tea in the world. Agricultural development. Agricultural development refers to efforts made to increase farm production in order to meet the growing demand of increasing population. This can be achieved in many ways, such as increasing the cropped area, the number of crops grown, improving irrigation facilities, use of fertilizers, and high yielding variety of seeds. Mechanization of agriculture is also another aspect of agricultural development. The ultimate aim of agricultural development is to increase food security. Do you know food security exists when all people at all times have access to sufficient, safe, and nutritious food to meet their dietary needs and food preferences for an active and healthy life? Agriculture has developed at different places in different parts of the world. Developing countries with large population usually practice intensive agriculture where crops are grown on small holdings mostly for subsistence. Larger holdings are more suitable for commercial agriculture as in USA, Canada, and Australia. With the help of two case studies of farms, one from India and the other from the USA, let us understand about agriculture in the developing and the developed country. A farm in India. There is a small village, Adilabad, in Gazipur district. of Uttar Pradesh. Munna Lal is a small farmer in this village who has farmland of about 1.5 hectares. His house is in the main village. He purchases high yielding varieties of seeds from the market every alternate year. The land is fertile and he grows at least two crops in a year, which are normally wheat or rice and pulses. The farmer takes advice of his friends and elders as well as government agricultural officers regarding farming practices. He takes a tractor on rent for plowing his field, though some of his friends still use traditional method of using bullocks for plowing. There is a tube well in the nearby field which he takes on rent to irrigate his field. Monalal also has two buffaloes and few hens. He sells milk in the cooperative store located in the nearby town. He is a member of the cooperative society who is also advises him on the type of fodder for his animals, safety measures to protect the health of the livestock and artificial insemination. All the members of the family help in various farm activities. Sometimes he takes credit from a bank or the agricultural cooperative society to buy HIV seeds and implements. He sells his produce in the mandi located in the nearby town. Since majority of the farmers do not have lake storage facility, they are forced to sell the produce even when the market is not favorable to them. In recent years, the government has taken some steps to develop storage facilities. A farm in the USA. The average size of a farm in USA is much larger than that of an Indian farm. A typical farm size in the USA is about 250 hectares. The farmer generally resides in the farm. Some of the major crops grown are corn, soybean, wheat, cotton, and sugar beet. Joe Horan, a farmer in the Midwest USA in Iowa State, owns about 300 hectares of land. He grows corn on his field after making sure that soil and water resources meet the needs of this crop. Adequate measures are taken to control pests that can damage the crop. From time to time, he sends the soil samples to a soil testing laboratory to check whether the nutrients are sufficient or not. The results help Joe Horan to plan a scientific fertilizer program. His computer is linked to the satellite, which gives him a precise picture of his field. This helps him to use chemical fertilizers and pesticides wherever they are required. He uses tractors, seed drills, leveler, combined harvester, and thresher to perform various agricultural operations. A grains Grains are stored in the automated grain storage or dispatched to market agencies. The farmer in USA works like a businessman and not like a peasant farmer. तो ये है इस चैप्टर का एक्सरसाइज और इसी के साथ हमारा आज का चैप्टर कंप्लीट हो गया है। तो अगर आप चैनल पर नए हैं तो चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर दीजिए और नोटिफिकेशन आइकन पर क्लिक कर दीजिए ताकि आपको सारे वीडियोस के अपडेट्स मिल सके। और अगर आपको वीडियो अच्छी लगे तो लाइक कर दीजिए, साथ ही अपने दोस्तों के साथ शेयर कीजिए ताकि उन्हें हेल्प हो सके। तो हमारा आज का वीडियो यहीं तक था। थैंक्स फॉर ज्वाइनिंग। हेलो एवरीवन, वेलकम बैक टू माय चैनल। तो आज के वीडियो में हम देखने वाले हैं एनसीईआरटी ज्योग्राफी क्लास 8, जिसमें आज हम देखेंगे चैप्टर नंबर 5 जो कि है इंडस्ट्रीज। तो शुरू करते हैं हमारा आज का चैप्टर। Have you ever given a thought to the fact that the notebook you use for writing has come to you after a long process of manufacturing? It started its life as part of a tree. It was cut down and transported to the pulp mill. There, the wood of the tree was processed and converted into wood pulp. The wood pulp was mixed with chemicals and finally changed into paper by machines. This paper found its way to the press where the ink made from chemicals was used to print the lines on the pages. The paper were then bound in the form of a notebook, packed and sent to the market for sale. Finally, it reached your hands. Secondary activities or manufacturing change raw materials into products of more value to paper. As you have seen, pulp was changed into paper and paper into a notebook. These represent the two stages of the manufacturing process. The paper made from pulp and cloth made from cotton have had value added to them at each stage of the manufacturing process. In this way, the finished product has more value and utility than the raw material that it is made from. Industry refers to an economic activity that is concerned with production of goods, extraction of minerals, or the provision of services. Thus, we have iron and steel industry, production of goods, coal mining industry, extraction of coal, and tourism industry, service provider. Classification of industries. Industries can be classified on the basis of raw material size and ownership. Raw material industries may be agro-based, mineral-based, marine-based, and forest-based, depending on the type of raw materials they use. Agro-based industries use plant and animal-based products as their raw materials. Food processing, vegetable oil, cotton textile, dairy products, and leather industries are examples of agro-based industries. Mineral-based industries are primary industries that use mineral ores as their raw materials. The products of these industries feed other industries. Iron made from iron ore is the product of mineral-based industry. This is used as raw material for the manufacture of a number of other products, such as heavy machinery, building materials, and railway coaches. Marine-based industries use products from the sea and oceans as raw materials. Industries processing seafood or manufacturing fish oil are some examples. Forest-based industries utilize forest produce as raw materials. The industries associated with forests are pulp and paper, pharmaceuticals, furniture, and buildings. Size. It refers to the amount of capital invested, number of people employed, and the volume of production. Based on size, industries can be classified into small scale and large scale industries. Cottage or household industries are a type of small scale industry where the products are manufactured by hand by the artisans. Basket weaving, pottery, and other handicrafts are examples of cottage industry. Small scale industry use lesser amount of capital and technology as compared to large scale industries that produce large volumes of products. Investment of capital is higher and the technology used is superior in large scale industries. Silk weaving and food processing industries are small scale industries. Production of automobiles and heavy machinery are large scale industries. Ownership. Industries can be classified into private sector, state owned or public sector, joint sector, and cooperative sector. Private sector industries are owned and operated by individuals or group of individuals. The public sector industries are owned and operated by the government, such as Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. And Steel Authority of India Limited. Joint sector industries are owned and operated by the state and individuals or a group of individuals. Maruti Udyog Limited is an example of joint sector industry. Cooperative sector industries are owned and operated by the producers or suppliers of raw materials, workers, or both. Anand Milk Union Limited and Sudha Dairy are the success stories of a cooperative venture. Factors affecting location of industries. The factors affecting the location of industries are the availability of raw material, land, water, labor, power, capital, transport, and market. Industries are situated where some or all of these factors are easily available. Sometimes the government provides incentives like subsidized power, lower transport cost, and other infrastructure so that industries may be located in backward areas. Industrialization often leads to development and growth of towns and cities. Industrial system. An industrial system consists of inputs, processes, and outputs. The inputs are the raw materials, labor, and costs of land, transport, power, and other infrastructure. The processes include a wide range of activities that convert the raw material into finished products. The outputs are the end product and the income earned from it. In case of the textile industry, the inputs may be cotton, human labor, factory, and transport cost. The processes include ginning, spinning, weaving, dyeing, and printing. The output is the shirt you wear. Industrial regions. Industrial regions emerge when a number of industries locate close to each other and share the benefits of their closeness. Major industrial regions of the world are Eastern Northern North America, Western and Central Europe, Eastern Europe, and Eastern Asia. Major industrial regions tend to be located in the temperate areas near seaports and especially near coal fields. India has several industrial regions like Mumbai, Pune cluster, Bangalore, Tamil Nadu region, Hooghly region, Ahmedabad, Baroda region, Chota Nagpur industrial belt, Visakhapatnam, Guntur belt, Gurgaon, Delhi, Meerut region, and the Kollam, Tiruvananthapuram industrial cluster. Industrial disaster. In industries, accidents or disasters mainly occur due to technical failure or irresponsible handling of hazardous material. One of the worst industrial disasters of all time occurred in Bhopal on 3 December 1984 around 0030 am. It was a technological accident in which highly poisonous methyl isocyanide gas along with hydrogen cyanide and other reaction products leaked out of the pesticide factory of Union Carbide. The official death toll was 3,598 in 1989. Thousands who survived still suffer from one or many ailments like blindness, impaired immune system, gastrointestinal disorders, etc. In another incident on 23 December 2005, due to a gas well blowout in Gaokyo, Chongqing, China, 243 people died, 9,000 were injured, and 64,000 were evacuated. Many people died because they were unable to run after the explosion. Those who could not escape in time suffered burns to their eyes, skin, and lungs from the gas. Risk reduction measures. Densely populated residential areas should be separated far away from the industrial areas. People staying in the vicinity of industries should be aware of the storage of toxins or hazardous substances and their possible effects in case of if any accident occurs. Fire warning and fighting systems should be improved. Storage capacity of toxic substances should be limited. Pollution dispersion qualities in the industries should be improved. Distribution of major industries. The world's major industries are the iron and steel industry, the textile industry, and the information technology industry. The iron and steel and textile industry are the older industries, while information technology is an emerging industry. Do you know emerging industries are also known as sunrise industries? These include information technology, wellness, hospitality, and knowledge. The countries in which iron and steel industry is located are Germany, USA, China, Japan, and Russia. Textile industry is concentrated in India, Hong Kong, South Korea, Japan, and Taiwan. The major hubs of information technology industry are the Silicon Valley of Central California and the Bangalore region of India. Iron and steel industry. Like other industries, iron and steel industry too comprises various inputs, processes, and outputs. This is a feeder industry whose products are used as raw material for other industries. The inputs for the other industry include raw materials such as iron ore, coal, and limestone, along with labor, capital, site, and other infrastructure. The process of converting iron ore into steel involves many stages. The raw material is put in the blast furnace where it undergoes smelting. It is then refined. The output obtained is steel, which may be used by other industries as raw material. Smelting. It is the process in which metals are extracted from their ores by heating beyond the melting point. Steel is tough and it can easily be shaped, cut or made into wire. Special alloys of steel can be made by adding small amounts of other metals such as aluminum, nickel, and copper. Alloys give steel unusual hardness, toughness, or ability to resist rust. Steel is often called the backbone of modern industry. Almost everything we use is either made of iron or steel or has been made with tools and machinery of these metals. Ships, trains, trucks, and autos are made largely of steel. Even the safety pins and the needles you use are made from steel. Oil wells are drilled with the steel machinery. Steel pipelines transport oils. Minerals are mined with the steel equipment. Farm machines are mostly steel. Large buildings have steel framework. Before 1800 AD, iron and steel industry was located where raw materials, power supply, and running water were easily available. Later, the ideal location for the industry was near coal fields and close to canals and railways. After 1950, iron and steel industry began to be located on large areas of flat land near seaports. This is because by this time steel works had become very large and iron ore had to be imported from overseas. In India, iron and steel industry has developed taking advantage of raw materials, cheap labor, transport, and market. All the important steel producing centers such as Bhilai, Durgapur, Buranpur, Jamshedpur, Raulkela, Bokaro are situated in a region that spreads over four states: West Bengal, Jharkhand, Odisha, and Chhattisgarh. Bhadravati and Vijayanagar in Karnataka, Visakhapatnam in Andhra Pradesh, Salem in Tamil Nadu are other important steel centers utilizing local resources. India's steel production increased from 1 million ton in 1947 to 30 million tons in 2002. Tata Iron and Steel Company, Jamshedpur. Before 1947, there was only one iron and steel plant in the country, Tata Iron and Steel Company Limited, TISCO. It was privately owned. After independence, the government took the initiative and set up several iron and steel plants. TISCO was started in 1907 at Sakchi, near the confluence of the rivers Suvarnarekha and Kharkhai in Jharkhand. Geographically, Jamshedpur is the most conveniently situated iron and steel center in the country. Sakchi was chosen to set up the steel plant for several reasons. This place was only 32 km away from Kalimati station on the Bengal-Nagpur railway line. It was close to the iron ore, coal, and manganese deposits, as well as to Kolkata, which provided a large market. TISCO gets coal from Jharia coal fields and iron ore, limestone, dolomite, and manganese from Odisha and Chhattisgarh. The Kharkhai and Suvarnarekha rivers ensure sufficient water supply. Government initiative provided adequate capital for its later development. In Jamshedpur, several other industrial plants were set up after TISCO. They produce chemicals, locomotive parts, agricultural equipment, machinery, tin plate, cable, and wire. The development of the iron and steel industry opened the doors to rapid industrial development in India. Almost all sectors of the Indian industry depend heavily on the iron and steel industry for their basic infrastructure. The Indian iron and steel industry consists of large integrated steel plants as well as many steel mills. Also includes secondary producers, rolling mills, and ancillary industries. Pittsburgh. It is an important steel city of the United States of America. The steel industry at Pittsburgh enjoys locational advantages. Some of the raw materials such as coal is available locally, while the iron ore comes from the iron mines at Minnesota, about 1500 kilometers from Pittsburgh. Between these mines and Pittsburgh is one of the world's best routes for shipping ore cheaply, the famous Great Lakes Waterway. Trains carry the ore from the Great Lakes to the Pittsburgh area. The Ohio, the Monongahela, and Allegheny rivers provide adequate water supply. Today, very few of the large steel mills are in Pittsburgh itself. They are located in the valleys of the Monongahela and Allegheny rivers above Pittsburgh and along the Ohio River below it. Finished steel is transported to the market by both land and water routes. The Pittsburgh area has many factories other than steel mills. These use steel as their raw materials to make many different products such as railroad equipment, heavy machinery, and rails. Do you know the name of Great Lakes are Superior, Huron, Ontario, Michigan, and Erie? Lake Superior is the largest of these five lakes. It lies higher upstream than others. Cotton textile industry. The term textile is derived from Latin word textere, which means to weave. Weaving cloth from yarn is an ancient art. Cotton, wool, silk, jute, flax have been used for making cloth. The textile industry can be divided on the basis of raw materials used in them. Fibers are the raw material of textile industries. Fibers can be natural or man-made. Natural fibers are often from wool, silk, cotton, linen, and jute. Man-made fibers include nylon, polyester, acrylic, and rayon. The cotton textile industry is one of the oldest industries in the world. Till the Industrial Revolution in the 18th century, cotton cloth was made using hand spinning techniques, wheels, and looms. In 18th century, power looms facilitated the development of cotton textile industry, first in the Great Britain and later in other parts of the world. Today, India, China, Japan, and USA are the important producers of cotton textiles. India has a glorious tradition of producing good quality cotton textiles. Before the British rule, Indian hand spun and hand woven cloth already had a wide market. The muslins of Dhaka, chinchis of Machilipatnam, kilkos of Calicut, and gold wrought cotton pieces of Burhanpur, Surat, and Vadodara were known worldwide for their quality and design. But the production of hand-woven cotton textile was expensive and time-consuming. Hence, traditional cotton textile industry could not face the competition from the new textile mills of the West, which produced cheap and good quality fabrics. The first successful modern textile mill was established in Mumbai in 1854. The warm, moist climate, port for importing machinery, availability of raw materials, and skilled labor resulted in rapid expansion of the industry in the region. Do you know the first textile mill in the country was established at Fort Gloucester near Kolkata in 1818, but it closed down after some time. Initially, this industry flourished in the states of Maharashtra and Gujarat because of favorable humid climate. But today, humidity can be created artificially, and raw cotton is a pure and not weight-losing raw material. So, this industry has spread to other parts of India. Coimbatore, Kanpur, Chennai, Ahmedabad, Mumbai, Kolkata, Ludhiana, Pondicherry, and Panipat are some of other important centers. Do you know about one third of Indian textile industry's total production is exported? Ahmedabad. It is located in Gujarat on the banks of the Sabarmati River. The first mill was established in 1859. It soon became the second largest textile city of India after Mumbai. Ahmedabad is often referred to as the Manchester of India. Favorable locational factors were responsible for the development of the textile industry in Ahmedabad. Ahmedabad is situated in the heart of a cotton growing area. This ensures easy availability of raw material. The humid climate is ideal for spinning and weaving. The flat terrain and easy availability of land is suitable for establishment of the mills. The densely populated states of Gujarat and Maharashtra provide both skilled and semi-skilled labor. Well-developed road and railway network permits easy transportation of textiles to different parts of the country, thus providing easy access to the market. Mumbai port nearby facilitates import of machinery and export of cotton textiles. But in the recent years, Ahmedabad textile mills have been having some problems. Several textile mills have closed down. This is primarily due to emergence of new textile centers in the country as well as non-upgradation of machines and technology in the mills of Ahmedabad. Osaka. It is an important textile center of Japan, also known as the Manchester of Japan. The textile industry developed in Osaka due to several geographical factors. The extensive plain around Osaka ensured that land was easily available for the growth of cotton mills. Warm, humid climate is well suited to spinning and weaving. The river Udo provides sufficient water for the mills. Labor is easily available. Location of port facilitates import of raw cotton and for exporting textiles. The textile industry at Osaka depends completely upon imported raw materials. Cotton is imported from Egypt, India, China, and USA. The finished product is mostly exported and has a good market due to good quality and low price. Though it is one of the important textile cities in the country, of late the cotton textile industry of Osaka had been replaced by other industries such as iron and steel machinery, shipbuilding, automobiles, electrical equipment, and cement. Information technology IT. Imagine how much could be accomplished if companies could operate on a 24-hour workday. Some software companies in the United States of America and software and in Bangalore, India have joined hands to achieve this. There are many ways in which this form of shift work across ocean. For example, two software professionals, Danny in Silicon Valley, California, and Smita in Bangalore, are working on a joint project. While Smita in Bangalore sleeps, Danny in California is working. At the end of his workday, he sends a message to Smita updating his progress. When she arrives at work in Bangalore a couple of hours later, she notices that a message awaits her. She gets to work on the project straight away. By the end of her workday, she relays the results of her efforts back to California. By the way, they communicate and work together. It is as if they were sitting in adjoining offices. The information technology industry deals in the storage, processing, and distribution of information. Today, this industry has become global. This is due to a series of technological, political, and socio-economic events. The main factors guiding the location of these industries are resource availability, cost, and infrastructure. The major hubs of the IT industry are the Silicon Valley, California, and Bangalore, India. Bangalore is located on the Deccan Plateau, from where it gets the name Silicon Plateau. The city is known for its mild climate throughout the year. Silicon Valley is a part of Santa Clara Valley, located next to the Rocky Mountains of North America. The area has temperate climate with the temperatures rarely dropping below 0 degrees centigrade. The locational advantages of the Silicon Plateau, Bangalore, and Silicon Valley, California are discussed on the next page. You may notice the similarities between the two cities. There are other emerging information technology hubs in metropolitan centers of India, such as Mumbai, New Delhi, Hyderabad, and Chennai. Other cities such as Gurgaon, Pune, Thiruvananthapuram, Kochi, and Chandigarh are also important centers of the IT industry. However, Bangalore has always had a unique advantage as a city with highest availability of middle and top management talent. Do you know why do high technology industry group together? They can be located near main road or highways for an easy access. Firms can benefit from exchange of knowledge, services and facilities such as roads, car parks and waste disposal can be organized efficiently. Locational advantage of Silicon Valley, California, and the locational advantage of Silicon Plateau, Bangalore. Bangalore has the largest number of educational institutions and IT colleges in India. The city was considered dust-free with low rents and cost of living. The state government of Karnataka was the first to announce an IT policy in 1992. The city has the largest and widest availability of skilled managers with work experience. Close to some of the most advanced scientific and technological centers in the world. Pleasant climate with an attractive and clean environment, plenty of space for development and future expansion. Located close to major roads and airports. Good access to markets and skilled workforce. Interesting fact, being Bangalore means to lose one's job to someone in the city of Bangalore. Few years ago, many IT jobs in the USA were outsourced to countries like India, where equally skilled labor was available at lower salaries. तो यह है इस चैप्टर का एक्सरसाइज और इसी के साथ हमारा आज का चैप्टर कंप्लीट हो चुका है। तो अगर आप चैनल पर नए हैं तो चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर दीजिए और नोटिफिकेशन आइकन पर क्लिक कर दीजिए ताकि आपको सारे वीडियोस के अपडेट्स मिल सकें। और अगर आपको वीडियो अच्छी लगे तो लाइक कर दीजिए और अपने दोस्तों के साथ शेयर कीजिए ताकि उन्हें भी हेल्प हो सके। तो हमारा आज का वीडियो यहीं तक था। थैंक यू, थैंक्स फॉर वॉचिंग। हेलो एवरीवन, वेलकम बैक टू माय चैनल। तो आज के वीडियो में हम देखने वाले हैं एनसीईआरटी ज्योग्राफी क्लास 8, जिसमें आज हम देखेंगे चैप्टर नंबर 6 जो कि है ह्यूमन रिसोर्सेस। तो शुरू करते हैं हमारा आज का चैप्टर। पीपल आर ए नेशंस ग्रेटेस्ट रिसोर्स। नेचर्स बाउंड्री becomes significant only when people find it useful. It is people with the demands and abilities that turn them into resources. Hence, human resource is the ultimate resource. Healthy, educated, and motivated people develop resources as per their requirements. Human resources, like other resources, are not equally distributed over the world. They differ in their educational levels, age, and sex. Their numbers and characteristics also keep changing. Do you know the Government of India has a Ministry of Human Resource Development? The ministry was created in 1985 with an aim to improve people's skills. This just shows how important people are as a resource for the country. Distribution of population. The way in which people are spread across the Earth's surface is known as the pattern of population distribution. More than 90% of the world's population lives in about 10% of the land surface. The distribution of population in the world is extremely uneven. Some areas are very crowded and some are sparsely populated. The crowded areas are South and Southeast Asia, Europe, and Eastern North America. Very few people live in high latitude areas, tropical deserts, high mountains, and areas of equatorial forest. Many more people live north of equator than south of the equator. Almost three-quarters of the world's people live in two continents, Asia and Africa. 60% of the world's people stay in just 10 countries. All of them have more than 100 million people. Density of population. Population density is the number of people living in a unit area of the Earth's surface. It is normally expressed as per square kilometer. The average density of population in the whole world is 45 persons per square kilometer. South Central Asia has the highest density of population, followed by East and Southeast Asia. Do you know average density of population in India is 324 persons per square kilometer? When all the 30 students are present, our classroom seems very crowded. But when the same class is seated in the school assembly, it seems so open and empty. Why? Because the size of the area of the hall is much larger than that of the classroom. However, when all the students of the school come into the hall too starts looking crowded. Factors affecting distribution of population. Geographical factors. Topography. People always prefer to live on plains rather than mountains and plateaus because these areas are suitable for farming, manufacturing, and service activities. The Ganga Plains are the most densely populated areas of the world, while mountains like Andes, Alps, and Himalayas are sparsely populated. Climate. People usually avoid extreme climates that are very hot or very cold, like Sahara Desert, polar regions of Russia, Canada, and Antarctica. Soil. Fertile soils provide suitable land for agriculture. Fertile plains such as Ganga and Brahmaputra in India, Hanghe, Zhangjiang in China, and the Nile in Egypt are densely populated. Water. People prefer to live in the areas where fresh water is easily available. The river valleys of the world are densely populated, while deserts have spare population. Minerals. Areas with mineral deposits are more populated. Diamond mines of South Africa and discovery of oil in the Middle East led to settling of people in these areas. Social, cultural, and economic factors. Social. Areas of better housing, education, and health facilities are more densely populated. Example, Pune. Cultural. Places with religion or cultural significance attract people. Varanasi, Jerusalem, and Vatican City are some examples. Economic. Industrial areas provide employment opportunities. Large number of people are attracted to these areas. Osaka in Japan and Mumbai in India are two densely populated areas. Population change. The population change refers to change in the number of people during a specific time. The world population has not been stable. It has increased manifold as seen in the figure 6.3. Why? This is actually due to changes in the number of births and deaths. For an extremely long period of human history until the 1800s, the world's population grew steadily but slowly. Large number of babies were born, but they died early too. This was as there were no proper health facilities. Sufficient food was not available for all the people. Farmers were not able to produce enough to meet the food requirements of all the people. As a result, the total increase in population was very low. In 1820, the world's population reached 1 million. 150 years later, in the early 1970s, the world's population reached 3 billion. This is often called population explosion. In 1999, less than 30 years later, the population doubled to 6 billion. The main reason for this growth was that with better food supplies and medicine, deaths were reducing, while the number of births still remained fairly high. Births are usually measured using the birth rate, that means the number of live births per 1000 people. Deaths are usually measured using the death rate, that means the number of deaths per 1000 people. Migrations is the movement of people in and out of an area. Births and deaths are the natural causes of population change. The difference between the birth rate and the death rate of a country is called the natural growth rate. The population increase in the world is mainly due to rapid increase in natural growth rate. Life expectancy, it is the number of years that an average person can expect to live. Migration is another way by which population size changes. People may move within a country or between countries. Immigrants are people who leave a country. Emigrants are people who leave a country. Immigrants are those who arrive in a country. Countries like the United States of America and Australia have gained in numbers by in-migration or immigration. Sudan is an example of a country that has experienced a loss in population numbers due to out-migration or emigration. The general trend of international immigrations is from the less developed nations to the more developed nations in search of better employment opportunities. Within countries, large number of people may move from the rural to urban areas in search of employment, education, and health facilities. Immigration, when a person enters a new country. Emigration, when a person leaves a country. Patterns of population change. Rates of population growth vary across the world. Although the world's total population is rising rapidly, not all countries are experiencing this growth. Some countries like Kenya have high population growth rates. They had both high birth rates and death rates. Now, with improving healthcare, death rates have fallen, but birth rates still remain high, leading to high growth rates. In other countries like United Kingdom, population growth is slowing because of both low death and low birth rates. Population composition. How crowded a country is has little to do with its level of economic development. For example, both Bangladesh and Japan are very densely populated, but Japan is far more economically developed than Bangladesh. To understand the role of people as a resource, we need to know more about their qualities. People vary greatly in their age, sex, literacy level, health condition, occupation, and income level. It is essential to understand these characteristics of the people. Population composition refers to the structure of the population. The composition of population helps us to know how many are males or females, which age group they belong to, how educated they are, and what type of occupation they are employed in, what their income levels and health conditions are. An interesting way of studying the population composition of a country is by looking at the population pyramid, also called an S-sex pyramid. A population pyramid shows the total population divided into various age groups, example 5 to 9 years, 10 to 14 years. The percentage of the total population subdivided into males and females in each of those groups. What is this triangular looking diagram? This is a population pyramid. Can I play detective and investigate the population of a country? Sure, let's study 3 countries. What's that? It shows the present number of males and females in a country along with their age groups. The shape of the population pyramid tells the story of the people living in that particular country. The numbers of children below 15 years are shown at the bottom and reflect the level of birth. The size of the top shows the numbers of aged people above 65 years and reflects the number of deaths. The population pyramid also tells us how many dependents there are in a country. There are 2 groups of dependents: young dependents aged below 15 years and elderly dependents aged over 65 years. Those of the working age are the economically active. The population pyramid of a country in which birth and death rates both are high is broad at the base and rapidly narrows towards the top. This is because although many children are born, a large percentage of them die in their infancy. Relatively few become adults, and there are very few old people. This situation is typified by the pyramid shown for Kenya. In countries where death rates, especially amongst the very young, are decreasing, the pyramid is broad in the younger age groups because more infants survive to adulthood. This can be seen in the pyramid for India. Such populations contain a relatively large number of young people, and which means a strong and expanding labor force. In countries like Japan, low birth rates make the pyramid narrow at the base. Decreased death rates allow number of people to reach old age. Skilled, spirited, and hopeful young people endowed with a positive outlook are the future of any nation. We in India are fortunate to have such a resource. They must be educated and provided skills and opportunity to become able and productive. और इसी के साथ हमारा चैप्टर कंप्लीट हो गया है और ये है इस चैप्टर का एक्सरसाइज। तो क्योंकि ये इस बुक का लास्ट चैप्टर था, तो हमने आज क्लास 8 का ज्योग्राफी बुक कंप्लीट कर लिया है। तो अगर आप चैनल पर नए हैं तो चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर दीजिए और वीडियो को लाइक कर दीजिए और नोटिफिकेशन आइकन पर क्लिक कर दीजिए ताकि आपको सारे वीडियोस के अपडेट्स मिल सके। और अगर आपको वीडियो अच्छा लगे तो लाइक कर दीजिए, साथ ही अपने दोस्तों के साथ शेयर कीजिए ताकि उन्हें भी हेल्प हो सके। तो आज हमारा ये क्लास 7 का बुक कंप्लीट हो गया है। थैंक यू, थैंक्स फॉर वॉचिंग।